Hi, I'm Dawn Goldstein, and today I'm going to show you a really easy strategy to help you become a better reader and a better writer. Why am I focusing on writing in this strategy? Well, reading and writing go together, like peanut butter and jelly, shoes and socks, peas and carrots, Forrest and Jenny. They go together hand in hand. So if you're really working on one, you're automatically going to get better at the other. So this strategy I call the deep strategy, and I like to explain it in a way of, let's imagine that you are going to look in the ocean or in the pool and you don't have any eye protection. You can open your eyes, but you won't see the detail that you really want to see. This strategy is equivalent to putting on your goggles or putting on your mask. As soon as you know how to use this strategy, your writing is going to come to life. It's inevitable. There's no way it won't happen. And the reason writing is so crucial, because it's how you're thinking. It's crucial to your thinking, and it ties your ideas together for others to understand. So, the strategy I'm about to show you is going to help you learn to express yourself, to put your ideas together into a series of thoughts and logical thoughts that are consistent, and you'll be able to explain yourself. And that's not easy to do, and most people don't do it naturally. It takes a lot of practice, and my virtual classroom is the place to practice your writing judgment-free. And it's a place to throw your ideas down, to come up with new ideas, to have opinions, and to be able to express them clearly. So that's the kind of writing practice you're going to get if you're very privileged. This is the kind of practice that you're going to get from me is what normally kids who get tutored receive from me, or extracurricular activities might teach these things. And these are opportunities that some students don't have. So, I'm happy that you found this video. I'm excited to show you this strategy. Maybe this isn't the place you want to be. Maybe this isn't where you thought you'd be, but it's definitely where you need to be. And now the strategy is yours. It's free. It's forever available to you. And so let's get started. Listos. Vamos a empezar. So the deep strategy I've color-coded. Your topic sentence is blue. And your concrete details, I'm going to go into what each of these are in detail, are red. Your commentary is green, and putting these two things together makes for the perfect paragraph. So, what are concrete details? We're going to stop and think about that. So, when you look at the concrete block, what do you see? Tell me what you see. You see a big, heavy object that is made out of concrete. There are some, stacks going on. One is piled high on top of the other. These are all concrete details. You can see it, and when you're writing for class, you can read it. It's there on the page. So concrete details, CDs, they form the specific details. They're the backbone of your writing. It's the core of your writing. It's usually your body paragraphs. So CDs include stuff from the story on the surface. So if you're watching a video or you're reading a story, you can see it with your eyes. You can look at the page and point to something that describes the setting. You can point to the imagery used. You can find the sensory images. You can point to color words. You can find texture words, sight words, sound words, words that describe movements. The concrete details are the facts. We all need facts. We need to learn what facts are, right? And how do you do that? You provide examples, descriptions, illustrations, support, proof, evidence, quotations, paraphrasing, or plot reference. All of those are concrete details. So now we're going to move on to the green, which are my favorite. The green are your commentary details. This is your heart and your mind. And green details usually give you the feels. And it's, the picture's the heart and the brain holding hands. And that's exactly what commentary is. It's your heart and your mind speaking together. So it's your opinion or your comment about something, and it's not concrete. So we couldn't prove it because it's your opinion. So commentary is your personal insight. It's your analysis, your interpretation, it's inference, it's evaluation, it's personal response, it's feelings, it's explication, which is close reading, and it's reflection. You can't do any of those things without using both your heart and your mind. Also, commentaries address the so what and the why, or the spin on something. So when you're doing an analysis in writing, in my class I teach 10th graders for 20 years now, English, and I also teach high school reading classes. And, the first thing I always say when someone's, writing a paper for me is, let's address the so what's, so you're proving that Julius Caesar was a betrayer, but so what? We most people would agree with you, but so what? Like, what's your interpretation of, why Rome fell and why, Brutus was a betrayer? You have to give your analysis and your evaluation, and you can't do that without including your own thoughts and your own feelings. So I'm going to go into more detail, but now you've got blue topic sentence, red concrete details, green commentary, and then we're going to put them all together in this quick little video. I had to improvise with the video. This is me on my phone, on my Instagram account. So you see a dog, we can concrete detail this, right? Yellow dogs, black dogs. Can't entirely tell what kind of dogs. On the surface, it looks like maybe a Labrador, right? So just so you know, that's the dog a few weeks later. So we're going to do a little free write activity. Based on that video that you watched, describe what you saw. Number one, you could say you saw puppies drinking milk from their mom. Concrete detail number two, you could call out, I think I saw 2 or 3 black ones and 3 tan ones. Concrete detail number 3, you might say, gosh, the mama dog looks tired. And concrete detail number 4, you could say what kind of dogs you think. On the surface, it looks like a Labrador. And now you're looking at this picture a little while later, definitely a Labrador. Now let's move to the green side. Describe what you felt when you watched that video. Some people freak out when they watch the video. I use this in class all the time. For some reason, the boys get all crazy, like, oh, what's that? What's that? And the girls go, oh, how cute. So if that's what happened, if that's what your reaction was, so be it. That's what you describe what you feel. So if cute came to mind, cuddly came to mind, mama, nurturing, love, any of those words that you thought or you felt when you watched the video. And those are your commentaries. Those are your thinking and your feeling words. So let's look at the samples at the bottom. Notice they're color-coded. The first one is heavy on the concrete detail, and then we have 1 topic sentence, 2 concrete details, 2 commentaries. So I love dogs. In this video, I see 5 or 6 dogs that are newly born. The mama dog looks tired. Prove it, right? You can go back and prove it by watching the video. Even still, it seems like all is well. I love the noises they make. It melts my heart. So notice how I switch from things I can prove to things that I think and feel. Sample number 2, and what you'll learn to do with this strategy is you'll start to there's one slide that you just have that available. I give copies of it in class when I visit a school. And, just kind of go tick, tick, tick down the list and pick the ones you want to write about, and, you're good to go. But the strategy also is for, somebody who's already a great writer, and maybe they can write that sample paragraph number 1, but they don't really get to the deeper, make that reef come to life instead of that blurry view. So sample number 2 is meet Bear, the Labrador. Notice I said the same thing, it's a topic sentence. I talked about the dog, but now I've given specific type of dog and the name of the dog. Concrete detail, watching my dog have his first meal and hearing the tiny noises of his hungry brothers and sisters melts my heart. So notice I kind of included what I wrote in the sample, the first sample, but I added some more deep details. I added those visual details the visuals that I saw, brothers and sisters, right? And what I heard. And then notice how I go all green now. I go all commentary. And commentary, red is on the surface. things you can see, things you can prove, but commentary is where the good stuff is. That's the stuff that's under the surface. So looking at that video, you don't know any under the surface stuff. I'm about to show you what they are. When I found out that the daddy dog died in a tragic drowning accident just days before he was born, I knew we had found our next family member. He's too little to take home, and we are counting the days until he's ours. So those are details that only somebody with firsthand information could communicate to me. And that's under the surface. It's, those are the things that I thought and felt when I saw the video. And only I could know that because I've taken the time, I have deeper information. And the deeper information that you have, the better off you are. So here's the slide that I said you should just have this on hand when you're writing any paragraphs. It makes your writing to come to life. And it scripts out, okay, well, a topic sentence it's your clear, to the point, main idea, focus, or claim. So it does, you don't leave the reader hanging as to what you're writing about. And notice on the left, on the right, on the red side, the D and the E is details and evidence. And here's where you focus on proving what you know. I say it to my 10th graders all the time. I know you understand, but you have to prove how you know. You have to go back to the story and tell me the stuff from the surface. Tell me the tell me the what's and the what really happened. Cite something from the story. Paraphrase a concrete detail. Quote a concrete detail. Summarize the plot. Be the play-by-play announcer. Give a reference to the plot. Use imagery to explain yourself. And that's argument leads in here too. In argument, we have ethos, pathos, and logos. And there'll be a separate video that shows how to employ all of these strategies. Evidence is your reasons, your incidents, your illustrations. This is where you give examples. You provide evidence. You elaborate with words. You quote with quotations. You cite with citations, and you give statistics. And a lot of teachers you may have heard them tell you fries, and fries is incorporated into this. There's a capital F for facts, capital R for reasons, capital I for incidents, capital E for examples or evidence, and capital S for statistics. This fries is kind of like the fast food strategy. This is, this is your, delicacy. So this strategy is even more specific than fries. So right side of your strategy, the green side, here's where you support what you think and you feel in your heart and your mind, but you focus on proving it with evaluating or expressing yourself. And it's also where you personalize. So it's your explanation. Notice there's two different commentaries in my samples. One, it's my explanation, my opinion. I added stuff from under the surface. I gave you the so what. The first one, there's no so what. It's not deep. It's not as deep as the second one. The so what is so dogs were born. Why is she telling me that? It's a really, he's my baby now. So you're going to have lots of bear in your life if you stay with me throughout the process here of learning to read and write better. So it's also the why. It's the why would I show you the video? Why? Because I want you to meet my boy, and I want to show you an example so easy that everyone loves baby animals. Who doesn't love baby animals? But I gave you my inference into why this was significant to me. I found out that the daddy had died in a tragic drowning accident, and I that really hit my heart in a significant way. So I told you that. I gave you those deep details, and I appealed to your senses when I did that. And that's what the express and evaluate side, the commentary side, does. It describes the character's feelings. If we were going to describe Cinderella's feelings and the treatment of Cinderella, we would have some very specific ways to describe poor Cinderella, right? She's, she cooks, she cleans, she sews, she does everything for everyone, and yet she's, she lives in that abusive home with people who don't love her. These are concrete details. We can tell, what Cinderella did. We can tell, but, how you think and you feel about her as a character, That's the green part where you're going to, describe and show the color of the situation. So the color commentator is that, and we'll do a whole lesson about that. But the color commentator is the one at the football game who is the excited voice who's telling you, and he goes out for the pass, and you don't even have to be watching the game because he's, you could just listen to him and know what's going on in the field. That's the color commentator. The play-by-play guy is the one who's saying it's 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line. The concrete details we could look at the field or we could see for ourselves. The fun guy, I like to call him, is the color commentator. So, as you use the strategy, you start at the top and just kind of go through the until you've used each example several times. And then when you go to use them in a writing assignment, there you go. They're super easy. And how do you know how many concrete details you need in comparison to commentary? I'm not going to go over this slide in detail, but notice that the more analytical that the class is, the more commentary that you use. And notice science and math, they want less to know what your opinion is and more for you to prove it. How do you get even deeper as a writer? You vary your word choice when writing about a character, another person, or yourself. So I like to give students this wheel, and I have a whole Pinterest page called Writing, and there's tons of great little graphics just like this one. But instead of using words like happy, surprised, bad, fearful, angry, disguised, or sad, or disgusted, or sad, those are basic words. They don't give me that much description. But if you told me, instead of happy, if you said optimistic and thankful, moving out the yellow there, the further you get away from the center, the more specific you are being. So if you find that your writing is just kind of bland and stale and boring, find ways where you can be more descriptive with your words. Now, I wouldn't be a good reading or writing teacher if I didn't talk about the final touches. Final touches are revising and editing. It's really important that you have great ideas and that you can put the sentences together. But revising and editing are just as important. Revising is what makes it sound better. So you can remember arms. If you go down the list, it's add is A, add, change, or delete parts to help the piece flow. R is for remove words, ideas, sentences that you don't need. M is move a sentence or arrange ideas in an order that makes more sense to you. And the S is for substitute or trade worn out words like the slide before for vivid words. So that's your revising, makes it sound better. Editing. This is where many teachers and their red pens make me upset, and I could see why many students get upset with many English teachers. Nobody likes to look at a page full of red. How can you prevent that? You can remember cups. So editing is making it look better. I've been teaching online for 12 years, and I don't grade handwriting, but I get long paragraphs that have very little punctuation, very little capitalization. And I tell kids, it's like if I had to stop only when there was a period, I would pass out by the time I finished grading your work. And they laugh, they think it's funny, but no, really. Everything's online these days. You have to capitalize the right words and punctuate where it's needed, because punctuation means breath, and breath is life. And not only will you make your paper look better, but you have this simple strategy now. And the final touches to me are like, put a bow on it. That's why I have a bow on my fingernail. Because, that final touch of a gift, like when somebody spent the time to put the bow on it, it's better with the bow. The gift is better with the bow. Don't argue that it's not, right? So what does the cups stand for? C is for capitalized names, places, titles, first word of a sentence. Not hard, right? Take your time and do it. Usage is the U. Usage means nouns and verbs. Nouns paint the picture and verbs make the pictures move. But if they don't agree, they're like this glaring thing on the page to anyone who reads it. Punctuation is the P. Periods, quotes, commas, semicolons, and apostrophes matter. They give the reader an idea what you're talking about better when they can pause correctly and see the importance of things correctly. And capital letters are there for a reason. They draw your eye to know, oh, that's a concrete detail. Every capitalized thing is a concrete detail, except the first word of a sentence. But and then let's not forget spell check. Spell check all words. Look for homophones. And the reason we put the bow on it, the reason we revise and we edit, that's the center, is it just makes it easier for people to understand you, and it proves the quality of your writing. And that's what this is about. That's what this class is about. That's what all of the hard work you're going to be doing. Keep this presentation. Go to freelyreading.com. You can download it for free. And just remember that putting a bow on it is showing that you have pride in what you do. And before you go, I have something I need you to do, if you will. You can think I'm corny, weird, whatever you want. It's totally fine by me. But if you would please put your hand on your heart and take the deep writer's oath. Ready? Repeat after me. I do hereby promise not to overthink my ideas and to write whatever comes to my mind first, and only then will I revise and edit my ideas. I promise to write as much as I can, as often as I can, to respect my writing and to monitor my growth. Thank you. So, the reason I have you take this oath is I think I get so many students over and over where they give what they think the teacher wants to hear. And if you put down and write about what you know and how you know it, you're going to communicate better no matter what. And you have to realize that beginning process, and you shouldn't stifle it. Every idea that comes to your brain when you're given a topic, everything that comes to your brain, respect it, write it down. And don't think that you have to, the first time, have this perfect paragraph writing. You're going to revise and edit, but the ideas that are in there are so important, and you can't just write off the top of your head. You have to have a strategy. And I hope you like the deep strategy. I thank you so much for showing up and for honoring yourself. And I believe in you, so I know you can do this, but you have to believe in you. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you need help with. If there's a video I can make that would make your life easier, please leave your comments in the comment box below on my YouTube channel. And if you want more videos like this, you can head on over to freelyreading.com and subscribe to my list, and you'll get lots of free videos and lots of great information. And that's it. Thank you so much, and I hope I've helped you. Take care.